Hey everyone, Dietr here. Before we start the video, I do wish to acknowledge that this video is being produced during strikes by both the Writers Guild of America and the Screen Actors Guild. Having reviewed the guidelines, I do not believe that this content is in violation of the guidelines put forward by either guild. But I do wish to state that Knights of the Nerds Table supports these strikes and all efforts by union organizers to ensure fair wages and conditions for laborers across the world. If you would like to, please consider donating to the Entertainment Community Fund, which is working to provide support to striking workers. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
Look! Up in the sky! Is that a bird?
Is it a plane? No! It's a new video from Knights of the Nerds Table! And today we are going to talk about the newest animated project from DC, and why it might end up being my favorite Superman show. So, like, subscribe, and let's talk about my adventures with Superman. So, full disclosure, I was supposed to be doing a video this week about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and believe you me, that video is on the shortlist. We're gonna talk about it. But, on Friday, July 7th, a new show dropped on Adult Swim and Max that we just absolutely have to talk about. See, back in 2021, Warner Brothers announced a new Superman show that I promptly forgot existed, because, let's be honest, at this point I don't believe any announced Warner projects will be released until I see them on my screen. But then, about a week before the premiere, Twitter starts a-buzzin' about this Superman show, so I decided to give it a watch. And man oh man, I love this show. Damn. My adventures with Superman opened with a two-parter entitled Adventures of a Normal Man. And now is where I'm going to warn you that I'm pretty much going to spoil the entire premiere. So, you've been warned. Cool? Cool. In this episode, we are introduced to Clark Kent, played by Jack Quaid, and Jimmy Olsen, played by Ishmael Saeed, as they prepare for their first day at the Daily Planet. Jimmy is excited to work on stories about alien invasions and conspiracies and cryptids, but all that Clark can think about is having a normal day, where his superhuman abilities don't get in the way. Unfortunately, that plan is pretty much immediately ruined when Clark and Jimmy meet Lois Lane, played by Alice Lee, who drags the two of them with her on an unsanctioned investigation into the theft of a series of giant robots. The group finds the robots and the people who stole them, led by Leslie Willis, who is Livewire in the comics, and she activates the robots to eliminate all of the witnesses. This forces Clark to don a hoodie and to act to save his friends. And of course, this leaves Lois on the hunt for the story of the Superman who saved her. The second part of the episode then goes on to follow the plot threads from part 1, as Clark returns to Smallville and learns of his alien origins, while Lois's investigation brings her into conflict with Livewire's gang of thieves. As any good Superman story goes, eventually Clark returns to Metropolis, saves Lois, and Lois finally gets to meet her Superman. And now for a wild non sequitur. There is a great card game that I play called Sentinels of the Multiverse. The conceit of the game is that you form a team of heroes to fight off a major villain, and all the characters in the game are original heroes and villains that feature in a fictional comic company called Sentinel Comics. The creators of the game, Christopher Bedell and Adam Rebataro, have referred to Sentinel Comics as a Silver Age comic with modern age sensibilities, and that might be the best way that I could possibly describe my adventures with Superman. The show presents with a heavy anime aesthetic up to and including a Sailor Moon-style magical girl transformation for Clark, and it is very comfortable with updating and modernizing different character designs. Although, I'm not sure why they decided to make Deathstroke a twink. Anyway, at the same time, it is completely unafraid of the Silver Age comic book premises, like giant robots, or even a group like the Newsboy Legion, which was a mainstay of classic Superman, and is updated here in the show to be the News Kid Legion. At the end of the day, I think what impresses me most so far about my adventures with Superman is how much it focuses on the human experience of Superman. From now on, anytime someone talks to me about how Superman is boring or difficult to relate to, I'm pointing them to this show. Clark might be a superpowered god here, but he's also bumbling, awkward, kind, charming, and exactly the Midwestern farm boy that we want him to be. His opening scenes see him saving a cat out of a tree and helping a local family at the bodega. Even his interactions with his parents embody the unconditional love that we expect, and his friendship with Jimmy, where he plays the straight man to Jimmy's chaotic conspiracy nut, is delightfully funny. And of course, this show is going to live and die on its portrayal of the relationship between Clark Kent and Lois Lane. And dear viewer, in my humble opinion, they nailed it. In this show, all of the seeds have been planted to make Lois and Clark the wonderful power couple in the DC universe that we know and love. Lois's headstrong nature is perfectly balanced against Clark's sense of caution, and Alice Lee and Jack Quaid have immediate and delightful chemistry that is a match for even Dana Delaney and Tim Daly from the animated series. Look, one day soon, we're gonna have to do a video talking about the state of streaming TV. It seems like every week, one of the streaming services is removing content from their service, and it's pretty clear that animation is first up on the chopping block. This means that even high-quality animated productions are at risk. Just this month, Paramount Plus removed Star Trek Prodigy from their service, the same month that it was nominated for a TCA award. Falling in love with a new, unproven show right now feels like a real risk in a way it wasn't previously. And the last thing that I want is to get my heart broken. But at the same time, the Superman brand has been weirdly diminished of late. With the contentious nature of Zack Snyder's films, so many people complain about not getting a relatable Superman. And when we least expected it, Warner Brothers went and gave it to us. So, if you like classic Superman, if you like the camp of the old 60s stories, if you like seeing Superman as a human who's falling in love and learning to find his way in the world, I think you owe it to yourself and to the creators of the show to check this show out. And if you do, or if you have, let me know in the comments what you think. And we'll see you next time for more conversations around the Nerds Table.